My name is Zaid, and obviously my real name was Najib, and I Americanized it and changed it legally to Gene H. Zaid.
And your current position, Gene?
I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the pharmaceutical company, Genzada. I came to the United States to go to school, and as I mentioned in another conversation, that I was born in a Palestinian refugee camp, and the opportunities to be able to come to America were extremely difficult for someone from my background. But I always had a dream of coming to the United States, and I pursued it, and I succeeded into coming to the U.S. I learned about a need in the oil and gas industry, that there hasn't been a lot of inventions in that industry. So I thought, okay, what is needed out there? So I did some research, and one individual said to me, if you put an oil-soluble product with a water-soluble product and made a combination of them, I think you can enter the market fairly well. So I thought, okay, well, I'll start working on that. So I did. I built a lab in the garage, started working on those in the middle of the night and weekends, holidays, what have you. And within 6 months, I had the product perfected. When the guy told me, our scientists have been working on this for 5 years and they weren't able to get it done. So I finished it within 6 months, applied for a patent, offered it to the company I was working for. I told them I developed this, and since I'm an employee here, it is your property, so it's up to you if you guys want this. He said, we're not in the oil and gas business, it's all yours, no problem. So I got that permission from them that I will own that patent, and soon after that I resigned my position and started the company and called on customers. The product worked and people would order more than one drum, so I just took off. So I would make another product and another product and introduce it to the market. Most of them are anti-corrosion and scale inhibition, a very complex chemistry that required a lot of time and a lot of effort, to get it done and take it from the laboratory scale into commercial production. I think 45 patents were done for the oil and gas, and a lot of them we did them so they can be applicable to that industry, and that helped us compete in a very competitive business, which is the oil and gas chemical world, if you will. So on one of my trips to Israel, went to see family, I ran into an old timer over there, and he said, hey, I heard you're a chemist. This plant here called loof, or Arum palestinum, it works on AIDS. So you can take that to the United States and boil it, and this is how you do that. I said, okay. So I took it back here, brought a sample back with me, and I cooked it in the lab and tested it, and it didn't work on AIDS. I don't know where he got that information from, but I thought it might work on cancer, because that is what people talk about in the old country about stuff like this. Brought that and mixed it with other things and tested it in vitro at KU, and I found out, wow, this is looking very good. So I started making it into a tea, and the tea was awful tasting, but people heard about it and they said, would like to try it on cancer. I said, okay, try it on cancer. So we continued to do this at KU, and we knew that people that are taking the tea are benefiting from it. So I need to identify those ingredients that are responsible for that efficacy. So I sent them a sample, they analyzed it, and they came back to me. They told me what the ingredients are in the plant and things like that. And it was, but it took a long time. So I purchased the instruments and I started doing my own extraction and analysis and things like that. And we finally identified the three main components in those plants that I put. And when they were in the tea, I made it more concentrated so it can have more efficacy to it. And sure enough, it did. So I thought, okay, we have it in the tea, and it worked in vitro and in the mice and rats, and it worked in humans, so we must have something. So I formed a company and started to continue the research. In 2013, I sold my company, and I put the money, my portion of the money, and devoted it to cancer research. I was pretty proud of the work that I have done at Wichita State and what I have learned and put it to work. In order for the young people, like I said, get as much education as you can, work hard, and be determined that failure is not an option. You got to be a risk taker, and you got to be realistic in your goals and in your dreams, and just go after it.